This is ZNS Total Sports, brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
This is your first look at sports. I'm Jonathan Benson. The Bahamas Olympic Committee holding its annual general meeting and election of officers this past Friday at the Paul Farquharson Center. Wellington Miller was returned as president, beating out Larry Wilson by a vote of 10-3. There were 6 vice president posts up for grabs, and when all the votes were counted, 5 new faces prevailed, including President of the Volleyball Federation, Joe Smith, First Vice President of the Gymnastics Federation, Cora Hepburn, Vice President of the Taekwondo Federation, Robert Butler, B3A's First Vice President, Iram Lewis, and President of the Lawn Tennis Association, Deron Donaldson. Lewis and Donaldson both spoke a bit about their new posts.
There's a lot of work to do, and I intend to be an active part of that. I'm going to go out there, learn as much as I can, listen to all of the advice from the elder statesmen, the elder members, and study the Constitution, study the process, know what funds are available to allow for programs to be developed in terms of track and field. And of course, I have a bias towards track and field because that is the reason why I am here.
I understand it's a big board. I'm still learning and trying to figure out everything about it, and hopefully I'll be guided accordingly.
Now, the only vice president re-elected to the BOC board was president of the Cycling Federation, Roy Colebrook.
It's important for the nation to see exactly what the sports leaders in the country, what they want. Clearly they want better than what was happening, and as you look around the BOC table now, that you will see a lot of the small sports who are represented on the board, because we believe at this time that the small sports have to be looked at in a different light, and they need the assistance so we can have to the next Olympic more disciplines in which we would have had the last time. We believe that's very important for the Olympic movement.
Well, the start of the 60th National Family Island Regatta is just over a week away. Georgetown Exuma is expected to be buzzing for this Diamond Jubilee, and as always, the best of the best will be in competition.
It's always going to be a tough race here in Georgetown. You know, when you hit Elizabeth Harbor, the best handled boat will always win.
So, of course, it's a kind of a busy time for sports. The National Family Island Regatta next week, the BOC election taking place, and some history actually made. Cora Hepburn, the first female actually elected to the vice president's post of the BOC, and Deron Donaldson, the youngest vice president ever on the BOC board. So, after being postponed last year, the Bahamas Olympic Committee elections finally taking place on Friday past at the Paul Farquharson Center. One of the issues that held up the proceedings was an incomplete financial report, and former Treasurer Larry Wilson explains why it took so long to get these records in order.
There was no supporting documents for a lot of items. The checks were issued. You go to the office, you couldn't find the invoices to support the payments, expense claims. The president, in particular, who travels the majority of the time for the BOC, but I have yet to see an expense claim from him. You know, the president and the Secretary General went against the wishes of the board or the mandate of the board, and they went and they got credit cards on their own, and knowing that the president does not have signing authority on the bank account, they issued letters to the bank instructing the bank to issue credit cards and to debit the account. Once they got the credit cards, they never accounted for them. So all these things presented challenges for the audit.
Now, in addition to the financial report, there were obviously other issues which brought some kind of divide between the former BOC administration, as everything came to a head on Friday night when a couple of outbursts interrupted the election proceedings. At the end of the night, almost an entirely new board was in place to run the business of the committee moving forward, and that didn't sit too well with some of the former executives.
I'm very disappointed with the IOC rep. He should have intervened.
I've been to FIBA America Conference. I have been to FIBA World Conference, and I have never seen a conference, an electoral meeting conducted the way this was conducted tonight. This is the worst meeting ever conducted. I withdrew. He didn't even ask the people to to take a reballot, to accept a nomination.
The president should have called this electoral meeting to get to order. He did not do that. A member presented a motion for the treasurer to read the president's report. I seconded, and the chair refused. The highest authority. Motion second belongs to the assembly. He refused to put that motion to a discussion and to a vote.
Now, re-elected President Wellington Miller also gave his views on the proceedings and the future of the BOC.
Overall, we had a good chairman, strong chairman. We stuck with the agenda, and it came through. Now it's time to get to work on with the Bahamas Olympic Committee. You heard the IOC members say there's a lot of money there, so we got to go at it to make sure our athletes and our coaches develop. This is a very optimistic group. I'm happy to be working with them. I'm happy to be working with them, and I think we're going to do a great job together because they're ready to work. And I believe that you're going to see a new Bahamas Olympic Committee. And what you're watching here today is history. You saw the last president of the Bahamas Olympic Association and the vice president of the Bahamas Olympic Committee. I had my own plans for the way forward, but I'm sure that all of these young people who coming in here, new people who come in here have their plans. So I'll put my plans off and we'll put them together and see what they have to bring to the table so we can present a good plan to the Bahamian public.
Well, the Scotiabank National High School Track and Field Championships start this Thursday and run through Saturday at the old Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Tickets are now on sale, and B3A's first Vice President Iram Lewis tells us where they can be purchased.
They will be at various Scotia branches, Thompson Boulevard and in Palmdale, and they'll be at all of the Texaco gas stations. General admission is $5, students $4, and children 12 years and under $3. So we're asking the general public to go to visit these locations, to purchase your tickets ahead of time, just to avoid the long lines at the gates.
Now, just like in years past, the B3As has put incentives in place for those relay teams who excel on the track at the high school nationals.
Penn Relays has created a very, very good incentive for the schools to participate because, it motivates them to be able to participate in the Penn Relays. I've spoken with the Penn Relays organizers last week, and to date they have 1,060 high schools alone that have registered. Jamaica has registered about 40 high schools already in the Penn Relays, and that does not include colleges and universities. And so the incentive and the motivation to be a part of the Penn Relays team is a lot of what the coaches and the athletes are looking forward to.
Now, B3A's boss Mike Sands also talked about the kind of crowd he's expecting at this year's Nationals.
CRIFT is always the perennial event for the year, and we had 15,000 persons plus in the stadium, so I don't think it'd be realistic to expect that, but we expect that we can generate the support. Bahamians love track and field, and they look for good competition. I think now track and field, I'm proud to say, continues to be the perennial sport in the country, and we want to keep doing it that way. And with the support of Scotiabank corporate citizens such as that, we feel that we'll be able to meet our goals and objectives.
Well, the Bahamas Bowling Federation's Nationals has moved into its final week of competition at Mario's. After 2 blocks, Richie Pyfrom leads the way in the men's division with 2,631 pins and a 219 average. 3-time winner Lee Davis holds down the second spot with 2,535 pins and a 211 average. Johan Pyfrom is in third with 2,482 pins and a 207 average. Stan the Man Bethel sits fourth with 2,474 pins and a 206 average. Soneth Lockhart, meantime, rounds out the top 5 with 2,440 pins and a 203 average. Now, on the women's side, Driscoll Roll, she has relinquished the lead to newcomer Zania Johnson. Johnson currently on top of the leaderboard with 2,232 pins and a 186 average. Roll is in second with 2,074 pins and a 173 average. Veteran Marina McLean, she rounds out the top 3 with 2,054 pins and a 171 average. The ladies C and D bowlers, they're back on the lanes tonight to complete their second block, so it's quite possible there can be a change in the leaderboard by night's end. And that will do it for sports, but don't go anywhere. There's more to come after the break.
This is ZNS Total Sports, brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.